over the past couple of months, we have been building our 125cc turbo drift kart, and this thing is looking absolutely awesome. It makes all of the turbo noises, and it shoots flames. And it actually runs really well on its fully tunable ECU with fuel injection. But today is gonna be the real test, because we are putting this thing on the dyno. We've got no time to spare. Bog is waiting for us at BSC Performance, so we're gonna load this thing up and head to the dyno. Well, we're all loaded up, and if that is not the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, look at that, it's so funny. So let's head to the dyno and let's make some frickin' numbers, or we're gonna blow it up. One or the other. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I bought this brand new GWM Vanta Ute. I absolutely love this car. It's the first brand new car I've ever bought. But because it's my first brand new car, I wanted to get a dash cam for it, just in case anything crazy happens. So I was friggin' pumped when the team at DDPAI sent me out the N5 dual dash cam. I've literally never had a dash cam before, and I just assumed that dash cams were these basic things that just took grainy footage. But this thing is crazy. It has a front camera that films in 4K resolution, and it's actually insane quality. It has a rear camera that films in 1080 resolution, and it has an AI-based radar. Basically means that if someone comes and does something malicious to your car, the radar will pick up the movement around your car 24/7. It'll start recording, and you'll have that footage so you can get those guys and send them straight to jail. This is genuine real-time driving footage, and look how crisp that footage is. It's pretty much as good as my vlogging camera, and it even has crystal clear footage at nighttime. You can even overlay all of this data, like the speed of other cars, GPS, altitude, how fast you're going, and more. The camera connects beautifully to their app that you download on your phone, so you can easily download the footage onto your phone, or you can just stare at yourself doing stupid things on the camera like I do. Installation was actually really easy. Literally peel off the 3M backing, stick it to the window, plug it in, and you are good to go. It has a bunch of different power sources. Luckily, the GWM, it has a USB port up behind the mirror, which made things real easy for me. So huge shout out to DDPAI for sponsoring this video. I genuinely actually really like the camera, and I'm really stoked to have it in this car to give me peace of mind with my brand new truck. There she is.
This looks ridiculous.
People message me on Instagram, they're like, you know they'll fit in the tub, right? Like, yeah, but it's way more fun chucking it on the trailer. So we have arrived at BSC Performance. Christine and my girls here. So we're gonna unload the boost off the trailer, and we're gonna take it straight into the dyno. There we go. Look at that.
It's actually so low.
I know, it's slammed. So we're here once again at the dyno. If you remember, we've actually been here before with this kart, because we brought it here when it had a 50cc 2-stroke motor, which is hilarious. But now we're here with our turbo 125cc kart, and we have high expectations, to say the least, with this thing. But I'm actually gonna fill you in on a little modification that we've done thanks to your feedback in the comments. So as you can see here now, we have this looped back into the top of the sandwich plate. And that is because you guys told me that that part of the sandwich plate actually feeds the cams oil, which I did not know because I have zero education with these motors. So thank you very much for suggesting that. We've made the modification. It's safe now, and we can put it onto the dyno. This is freaking exciting. Let's throw this thing on the dyno and get some wisdom from the man himself, Bogger. So this is Bogger, if you guys haven't met him before, currently strapping everything down. He's the madman that does all the tuning. This thing looks so comical on the dyno. So Bogger's currently doing his wizardry on the computer. Do you want to explain to us a little bit, first of all, what you think of the software?
Yeah, it's very
primitive?
Yeah, and a bit clunky.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the first ever Mega Squirt that was released was this software.
Yeah.
And this is like a copy of it.
Yeah, I've never seen it before, but
yeah.
Anyway, it's just time consuming because you can't like interpolate or highlight and just increase or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just very slow going.
Everything has to be done individually in each one of these boxes. Like you literally have to type a number into that box, move into the next one, type
very
another
slow.
number. All right, shall we fire it up?
Try it.
See if it runs. Well, that immediately idles better than it has before. which is great. So it's a good start.
So we threw the kart onto the dyno and ran it up just to make sure everything was working perfectly before we do the actual power runs.
So we have run it up a little bit on the dyno just to check that everything's okay, and for the most part everything is, other than our axle at the rear, which we definitely haven't welded straight, but we already knew that. So it's kind of like sitting on a washing machine when it's on spin cycle.
It's wobbly.
It's wobbly, but it's working.
We quickly removed one of the intercooler pipes so we could see how much power it's making naturally aspirated before we run it up with boost.
So they say it makes 7.5 horsepower. On the website it made 7.1, which is pretty darn good. I'm impressed. So now we put the boost pipe back on and we see how much power it makes under boost.
So back on goes the intercooler pipe so we can do some proper power runs, and somehow I got so excited I grew a mullet and some crazy Pit Viper sunglasses.
Alright, it's time for the power run, baby. Let's go! Alright, so we think we've got the fueling and the timing set pretty well. So we're going to do a proper power run now.
At this point, we were making 8.5 horsepower on 1.5 psi of boost, but we decided to spice things up for one last run on the dyno, and well, as you're about to see, things did not go well.
Just totally did a camshaft or a chain.
Oh, I think we did a mischief.
Yeah, she's smoking out the tail pipe.
Is it?
She's cranking but nothing happening, bro.
There's no comp.
I just snapped the timing chain for sure.
Oh, do you reckon it just snapped that?
Either that or it's dropped the valve.
What did he get on the...
Like 8.5 horsepower.
8.5 horsepower. So Bogger's going to give us a quick rundown on the different graphs that we have here, from naturally aspirated to boosted.
So red here is the NA.
Yeah.
This here is where it had like 135 in the fuel table, which is why it was braking.
Oh, yep.
So way too much fuel.
Yep.
Which obviously we cleaned up.
Yeah.
So what was it? 7 horsepower.
Yep.
NA.
Yes.
And
but not just 7. It's the way it drops off here. That's crazy. So this is a torque number.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
So in foot-pound.
Yep.
So it's probably like 5-ish.
Yep.
And then obviously with boost, which was which we'll show you the graph for that anyway, but
yep.
a lot more responsive down low.
Yes.
Made 8.5 horsepower.
Yeah.
Didn't fall off obviously, and
yes.
it made another foot-pound or 1.5 foot-pound of torque.
Yeah.
And then we've obviously got boost. Is we're making 1.5 pound of boost.
So that's 1.5 psi of boost, and it's making that much difference.
Yeah.
Which is pretty significant.
Yeah.
In the scheme of things. That is the whole point of these dyno tunes, so we can actually get real numbers, make improvements, and actually
feeling
make
heaps better.
It was amazing. Like, I actually was so excited to drive it, but we decided to do one more pull, and well, the one more pull was one too many. We'll fix the motor, we'll come back,
End it.
I appreciate you. So we're back at the shop after an eventful dyno session, and I'd say there's some positives and obviously some negatives that we're going to take away from that session. First things first, this thing made power. It made almost 2 PSI of boost by the end of the session. I know that's not a lot, but when it made boost, it made power, which gives me a lot of confidence that we can get this thing going much harder. Now, I already have a couple of theories and some plans that we're going to put in place to get some more boost into this motor. So when we were running this motor naturally aspirated, we did notice that there's a lot of restriction. Basically, the motor can't get enough air into it to make all the power that it's supposed to make, and that's probably due to something like this being super restrictive, this intake. And I have read a bunch of your guys' comments saying that you can actually port these heads and get them flowing much better. Now that means when we put boost into this motor, it's much harder, obviously, to get boost in, but also there's less air coming out of the motor, so it's spooling the turbo less. Now, since we already have to rip this motor apart and see exactly what happened to it, it's a really good opportunity for us to do some porting on this motor and get it to flow as much as we possibly can. But we're not just going to stop there. I already had plans to put a big bore kit on this motor. That means we'll be taking it from 125cc to about 140cc. Now that, along with the porting job, means that we should be able to spool this turbo a lot better. So I'm not too phased that the motor blew up on the dyno. It's kind of interesting. We gave this motor such a hard life as we've been putting the turbo on it and running it up here in the factory, doing the 2-step, popping the flames and all that stuff. So I'm kind of not surprised that the motor ended up letting go. I wish we could have ridden it after the tune because the power was looking way better. But all that means is you guys get more content. This weekend I'm gonna rip this motor apart and see exactly what happened on the dyno. Then next week we'll be throwing a big bore kit in it and taking it straight back to the dyno and seeing if we can make some proper power at this thing. I reckon we can get it like 15-20 horsepower. Maybe I'm being a bit ambitious, but that is the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much to BSC Performance and Bogger, Christina, for having me. Please go subscribe to their channel. Christina is entertaining as hell. Bogger has some insane cars and is a very good driver. Look forward to the video breaking down this motor, and I'll see you in the next one. Phew. Poos. Bye. It's blown up, but goddamn, that was a bloody good time. Bye.